Michigan fans, Michigan women's hockey is live and on the air. We are live at Yost Ice Arena, looking down on Red Berenson Rink, where it is your Michigan women's hockey team taking on the Penn State Nittany Lions for the second game of a two-game series this weekend. As Michigan able to take care of business yesterday, 7-0 beating Penn State, but you know they'll have to play a focused Penn State team that'll want a little revenge this evening here at Yost Arena. Michigan now has 8 undefeated games in a row, as their last loss came at the last game of the Beehive Classic. That was versus University of Massachusetts Amherst back on November 20th. Since then, they beat the University of Michigan Dearborn 4-3. They beat the University of Michigan Dearborn 5-1. That one was at Yost Ice Arena. They went to Concordia, went to overtime, but beat Concordia 2-1 back on December 4th. On December 9th, they beat Rhode Island by a score of 5-2. Then they had the winter break. Then they traveled out to Arizona. They played Grand Canyon University and won that one 7-1. They then tied Arizona State University, so a draw, not a loss though. And then they beat Arizona State University the next night 2-1 before coming back and beating Penn State 7-0. So 2 wins in a row, but 8 games without a loss in a row, and Michigan looking to improve on their 16-3-2 record, trying to get a sweep of the Nittany Lions. Taking a look at what is on the schedule coming up next. They have the game versus Penn State today at 3:30, obviously. Then we hop over to next Sunday. That will be here at Yost Ice Arena again. That'll be a 3:30 game versus the Adrian Bulldogs, and it's going to be a tough game. We could use all the maize and blue fanatics we can get to come out and cheer on for your Michigan team, as they'll do their best to knock off the leader of the CCWHA East pod, which is the Adrian Bulldogs. Then on February 4th, they'll have a home-and-home series versus Grand Valley State University. On Saturday, they'll go out to Griff's Georgetown and play Grand Valley State at 2 o'clock on that Saturday. Then on February 5th, they head back to Yost Ice Arena on Sunday at 3:30 to play Grand Valley State University. On February 12th, the next Sunday, they will host Concordia of Ann Arbor. Again, that's a 3:30 game. Then they'll finish off the regular season on Sunday the 19th versus Michigan State University, the team they tied to open up the season. So lots of great games coming out. You have at this point, besides today, 4 more chances after today to see your Michigan women's hockey team at Yost Ice Arena, and we'd love to see a whole bunch of Maize and Blue fanatics out at Griff's Georgetown on February 4th as well. Taking a look at the game from yesterday, 7-0 Michigan with the lead. They had 2 goals in the first, 1 goal in the second, and a 4-goal explosion in the third. Total shots on goal, if this is right, 12 shots on goal for Penn State and 96 shots on goal versus the Nittany Lions. Wow, that seems like that's just a huge amount of shots on goal. According to the game sheet, they had 12 shots on goal, 44 shots on goal in the third. That's as many as a lot of people get an entire game. 0 for 3 on the power play was Penn State, serving 6 minutes on 3 infractions, and Michigan 0 for 3 on the power play, serving 6 minutes on 3 infractions. Started off, Swanson had her 8th goal of the season at 5:39 in the first. Bryce on the assist. That is her 4th of the season. Then Lindahl scored her 12th goal of the season, unassisted at 8:46. That beautiful motion she does of coming down, cutting across the crease, putting it in. Excellent job, as she is the point leader for Michigan. There was 1 penalty in the first. That was to Megan Matthews for slashing at 1:34. In the second, Gargiulo got her 5th goal of the season, assist to Levinson. And Poneth got an assist for the game. That's her first assist. Not often you get too many of those by the goaltender. On the penalties at 3:37, it was Katie German going off for interference. Then at 5:54, it was Bars going off for tripping for Penn State. Then at 14:29, Swanson went off for a slashing penalty and sat for 2 minutes. Then the goal explosion in the third, as Rubin had her 3rd goal of the season. Gargiulo had the assist, that with 13 seconds into the third. Then Proctor scored her 5th goal of the season at 2:55. Rubin and Gargiulo on the assist. So Gargiulo had a 3-point game as she had a goal and 2 assists. 2 goals and an assist, as at 10:19 it was Gargiulo with her 6th goal of the season from Proctor and Rubin. That's Rubin's 9th assist. So again, 3-point game for Gargiulo. And then at 12:31 it was Simmer, her 6th goal of the season. Evans on the assist, as well as Megan Matthews. In the penalties, it was Murphy going off for a legal body check at 12:38 for the Nittany Lions. And then at 16:51, it was Pisano going off for elbowing. Ware took the loss for Penn State, facing 96 shots on goal, saving 89 of them. It's being completely peppered there. And then Poneth saved 12 shots out of 12, getting the win. Taking a look at the offensive statistics for your Wolverines, as the team leader in points with 16 points is Lindahl, the freshman, with 12 goals and 4 assists. Coming in at number 2 now is Swanson. She has 13 points on 8 goals and 5 assists. DeCreasy is tied with 6 other Wolverines with 12 points. Unfortunately, DeCreasy with the broken arm is done for the season. We are really grateful for everything she's done for the team this season, and really wish we could continue to see her on the ice this season, but we hope she gets healthy as soon as possible. She has 12 points on 9 goals and 3 assists. Evans has 12 points on 6 goals and 6 assists. Gargiulo has 12 points on 6 goals and 6 assists. Simmer has 12 points on 6 goals and 6 assists. Katie German has 12 points on 5 goals and 7 assists. And then Rubin has 12 points on 3 goals and 9 assists. That is your top. It would be the top 5, but we have, again, 6 people all knotted up at the number 3 spot. So ends up being your top 8 point getters for the Wolverines. Poneth has a 1.49 goals against average, a utterly fantastic 949 save percentage, and now 7 shutouts as she got the clean sheet yesterday, getting the shutout. Taking a look at Penn State. Penn State is 6-9 on the season as their losing streak is stretched out to 8 now. And started with a game versus Rhode Island back at October 15th at Brad Boss Ice Arena. They then lost a pair of games to Aquinas back on the 4th and 5th of November at Pagula Ice Arena. They lost a pair of games to Adrian. That's always tough. At Pagula Ice Arena, Adrian won those 9-2 and 8-2. Then they had Lake Superior State. They went out to Norris Center up in the Sioux, and Lake Superior State was able to sweep that series 3-1 and 6-2. So Penn State would really like to get another W in the win column and get some momentum as they are going to be visiting Michigan State University next weekend. So, boy, they just keep on coming back to Michigan as they were up at the Sioux back on the 14th, 15th here at Yost on the 21st and 22nd, then at Munn on the 28th and 29th. Then they host University of Massachusetts to end the season over at Pagula Ice Arena on February 10th and 11th. The top point getters, no change in that for the Nittany Lions, as Solansky has the top points, 32 points on, that would be 21 goals and 11 assists. With 20 points is Barr. She has 9 goals and 11 assists. 18 points for Samiti on 5 goals and 3 assists. 7 points for Chiango at 1 goal and 6 assists. And rounding out the top 5 with 6 points is Pisano. She has 2 goals and 4 assists. So your top point getters. It has been predominantly wear between the pipes. Gorman has only played 1 game, happened to be a shutout, but she's only faced 17 shots on goal. Ware played last night. She is 5-8-1, 4.23 goals against average, and a 911 save percentage, and that probably only got better after last night's just shot flurries that Michigan had, as we have about 10 minutes counting down before we have our starting lineups and our puck drop as they're getting the ice resurfaced. We had a fantastic, it's first kind of big snowstorm of the season, although I guess maybe we missed one when we were driving out to Salt Lake City. But first major snowstorm we've seen in Ann Arbor. Not that it was too horrible, but as free skate was just packed as everyone was out here. They did play the record, the Edmund Fitzgerald, as the last song during free skate, which always makes me feel weird on the ice. I would never listen to that on a boat. It makes me even feel weird on an ice rink, but that's just me. Fantastic song, don't get me wrong. Like every other Michigander, I love it, but yeah, just way too superstitious for that is me. Take a look at your rankings. Your ACHA Women's Division I rankings. At number 1 is Liberty University. By the way, this is through the 15th. Adrian College comes in at number 2. So Liberty 11-0-0. Adrian College 16-4-0 in the number 2 spot. They've both been 1 and 2 the previous rankings. Midland is at number 3, 15-5-2. They were number 3 last ranking. Indiana Tech checks in at number 4, 21-4-0. Again, they were number 4 in the last rankings. Minot State is at number 5. They have 13 wins, 6 losses, 1 tie. They were number 5 last time. So basically most of the top 10 has stayed steady, including Michigan at number 6. They are 14-3-2, wanting to keep in that number 6 spot or higher just to make sure they end up in the top 10 and get to go to nationals. Number 7 is Miami University. They are 11-7-1. Again, they were 7 in the last ranking. The little flip-up was Maryville University is number 8. They have 9-9-3 is their record. They were number 9 in the last rankings. And McKendree University is number 9. They're 8-4-1 on the season. They were number 8 in the last ranking. Arizona State University stays steady at number 10. 9-4-1 after that series with Michigan. Lindenwood University is number 11. They have a 5-7-1 record. They stayed number 11 last week. University of Massachusetts checks in at number 12, 7-6-1. They were number 12 last week. University of Jamestown is number 13. They were 14th last week. They are 6-14 on the season. Number 13th was University of Michigan Dearborn. They're number 14th this week, 7-7-1 on the season. And then University of Minnesota checking in at number 15. They were not ranked earlier. They have a 2-6-0 record on the season. That's your Division I Women's ACHA rankings through January 15th. Taking a look at the CCWHA standings in the East Pod, Adrian tops with 22 points. They are 11-0-0. Michigan Ann Arbor is 5-2-1 with 11 points. They're in the number 2 spot. University of Michigan Dearborn with 9 points, 4-5-1 on the season. Tied at 6 points is Concordia of Ann Arbor. They are 3-8-0 for 6 points. Michigan State also with 6 points, 2-6-2 on the season. And then Penn State 3-8 on the season with 6 points as well. All three of those teams knotted up with 6 points. On the west side of the CCWHA standings, again, we will be broadcasting the CCWHA playoffs coming up at the end of the regular season. Indiana Tech has 24 points to lead the way on the West Pod, 12-1 on the season. Miami University is 8-4 for 16 points. Aquinas has 10 points, 5-4 on the season. Lake Superior State, 8 points on a 4-6 record. Grand Valley State University is 5-3 on the season with 6 points, and Davenport 0-11 for no points thus far. As we'll play a little bit of the Michigan Marching Band, then we'll head back and have your opening lineups, the national anthem, and puck drop. You are watching Michigan Women's Hockey, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. as we are being welcomed by the public address announcer as we have the second game of a two-game series. Cheers for yesterday's score from the fans here. As Pinto skates out, starting for Penn State. He's also coming out is Bars, as well as Samidi. Pisano skates out to the blue line, as well as Chiango. And then between the pipes, it is where head coach Stephen Brandstetter, assistant coach Andrew Galletti for Penn State. Skating out for Michigan is Simmers, starting at forward. Also coming out is Matthews. And then finishing off is Evans on the forwards. Now on defense, skating out forehand for Michigan, as well as Levinson. And then Poneth between the pipes, who had another shutout yesterday. Head coach Jenna Trebbiano, assistant coaches Ned Glisson, Carrie Inman, and Joe Upton. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, the singing of the national anthem. You know, one of these times I'm actually going to ask the name of the public address announcer who does such a fantastic job singing the national anthem. We are very grateful. As we're getting ready to go, Michigan gathered around Poneth to our left. Penn State getting their gear on across the way, just in front of their coaching staff. As we're about to get ready to go for game two, Michigan looking for the sweep. Penn State looking to pull off a win and stop a 8-game losing streak. And last year when Michigan went out to Pagula Ice Arena, the home team, Penn State, won the first game. Then Michigan was able to come back on a big win the second evening, and that helped propel them to the CCWHA playoffs, where they won their first game and got to the second round, where they ran into a very good Indiana Tech team. This is a Michigan team that has their eyes set, not just a CCWHA title, but also getting to nationals and trying to make a bit of a ruckus there and let themselves be known. As we are about to go again, high up top of Yost Ice Arena. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you for watching. I also want to thank the president of University of Michigan, for retweeting our broadcast yesterday. We appreciate his support of athletics, especially retweeting this fantastic Michigan women's hockey team. Very, very grateful. And puck right at center ice, pulled, and here comes Evans. Evans feeds it over to Simmer, and tipped away by Samidi. Now here comes Chiango into the near corner. That tip loose on the near circle, bringing it down the near boards. Murphy, as Michigan trying to pin that. Matthews gets it into the near corner. That pull by Chiango, back behind her own goal. She rims it all the way back outside the far circle. Barr's trying to get it there. That pull by Evans. Evans has it tipped back, holding it in. Levinson outside the far circle. Now Matthews into the near corner of the Penn State zone. That pulled away by Pinto into the near corner. Now sent back and along the end board. Simmer trying to pull it away, digging in there. A quartet of players. Swanson trying to get that off of the end boards. That pull back now coming down the far boards. Here comes Pisano, gets it all the way back to the Michigan blue line, then that fire back into the Penn State end. Chiango fires it down the near boards. Here comes Bove. Bove sends it into the near corner. Forehand chasing that. Now Levinson has it into the far corner. Pull back by Bove all the way back to the near far point over top of the near circle. Murphy with a shot. That goes into the near corner. Pulled there by Barron. Tipped back to Murphy at the near point. Murphy skates in, fires that through the slot, goes wide outside far circle. Swanson trying to knock that away from Barron. Now loose on the near circle. Forehand pulls it right back behind her own goal. Sends it around the near boards as that's chipped. Lindahl firing it over to Swanson. Swanson bringing it down the far boards. Chipped into the Penn State zone. Murphy feeds it over to the far side, then gets it back. Murphy sends it to center ice. That's loose there. Picked up. Here comes Izzy German. Izzy German on the far circle. Izzy German feeds it right through the slot. That comes loose on the near circle. Gathered up there by Rubin. Rubin chips it into the near corner. Murphy fires it all the way around the boards. Izzy German has it outside the far circle. And tipped. Coming the other direction with it. Trying to get it out of there was Rico. And held in. Now at the near point, coming in is Kolwich. Kolwich on the near circle, fires it into the slot. And shot got deflected outside the near circle. Gargiulo has it top of the near circle. Gargiulo spinning with it. She gets a shot covered up by Ware. 17:40 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Second game between Michigan and Penn State here at Yost Ice Arena. Snowy Sunday, but some light streaming in from the windows. Pretty good crowd underneath us as that puck back to Simmer and along the near boards. Now Kolwich at the near point. Kolwich fires it back to Simmer outside the near circle into the near corner. And grabbed by Chiango as that fired all the way around the boards, chipped into the far corner. Picked up by Pinto there as it got stuck in the linesman's skate. Outside the near circle now. Samidi trying to get it out of the zone. Back and along the end boards. That grab by Grobe. Fires it, that chip back into the neutral zone, and Matthews collects it right at her own blue line. Feeds it back as now Kolwich on the far circle, sending it forward right to center ice. That grab as Grove fires it right back into the Michigan zone. Stopped by Ponev underneath the far circle. Then fired all the way down the far boards to Evans. Evans gets over own blue line. Evans over center ice, feeds it into the Penn State zone. That collected by Chiango, banked right back into the neutral zone. Izzy German moves it into the Penn State zone. Bove gets it right back into the neutral zone. Izzy German feeds it back deep as she goes for a line change. The puck right back behind the Penn State goal. Now in along the far boards. That's sent by Barron back out into the neutral zone. Collected, fed to Swanson. Swanson, top of the near circle in the Penn State zone. Swanson fires it back. That tipped. Now racing ahead, trying to get back is Stumpo. Stumpo feeds it right through the slot into the far corner. And fed to Swanson, tipped out into the neutral zone. Battle for it at center ice. Lindahl chasing it along the near boards. Now that fed ahead. Here comes Katie German, who puts it into the Penn State zone. The puck, high slot, pulled back over, top of the near circle for Swanson. Swanson into the near corner. Swanson goes back behind Ware. Now underneath the far circle. Swanson still with it. Swanson, shot from the far circle. Save as that's put in along the far boards. Gathered up there, fired by McDonald. And in along the near boards for Katie German, who fires it back deep. She goes for a line change. The puck into the far corner. Gathered by Pisano outside the far circle. as Proctor trying to knock that away. Now Rubin comes in with a shot and a save by Ware. The puck back to the far point, held in by Bryce, who fires it just in along the end boards. Gathered up there by Pisano into the near corner, trying to knock it away. There is Rico. Rico digging. Now Gargiulo has it outside the near circle. Back to Levinson, top of the near circle. That went off of a skate. Picked up by Gargiulo, coming from the near side to the far side, back behind the Penn State goal. Gargiulo comes back to the far point, now makes her way, high slot, feeds it onto the far circle. That intercepted, coming the other direction with it. Rico has that tipped away into the far corner. Battle for it in along the end boards. Rubin trying to get it there, fired all the way down to the far point. Michigan not quite able to hold it in as McCarthy retreats to center ice over to Levinson on the near boards. Levinson to Christensen, who gains his own top of the near circle. Christensen into the slot, shot that goes wide into the near corner. Goldman trying to peel it off of the boards, battling, digging in there is Barron Bove trying to pull it away as well. Pulls back, Christensen underneath the far circle. Christensen feeds it, backhanded shot. That's a pad save into the far corner by Ware. As Christensen trying to pull that away, now coming down. Bove feeds it in along the near boards. Samidi gains the Michigan zone. Oh, now it comes in. Puck loose, that's going to be offsides as Samidi just lost the handle and it slipped over the blue line just a few moments after Penn State thought it was going to. Face-off in the near face-off circle just outside the Michigan zone. 14:07 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Pinto in to take the face-off versus Matthews. Simmer has it in along the near board, sweeps it back into the Michigan zone, into the near corner. Kolwich gathers it up back behind her own goal, gets it over to Izzy German in the far corner. That held in by Stumpo, who puts it right back into the near corner of the Michigan zone. Now pulled ahead to the blue line, fired right back in by Murphy. Back behind the Michigan goal into the far corner. Izzy German trying to knock it away from Barron. Now that's sent back by Pinto back to the far point. The puck loose, slides into the near corner of the Michigan zone. Kolwich trying to battle in along the end boards. Pinto trying to pull that away as well as Blake. Now Matthews feeds it. The puck loose on the near side of the goal. Now pulled all the way back. Simmer intercepts the pass. Simmer over on blue line, coming down the near board. Simmer has that poke checked away. Murphy heads back the other direction. 13:17 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Pinto back in along the end boards of the Michigan zone. Kolwich has it underneath the far circle. Kolwich feeds it down the neutral zone, banks it off the near boards, racing ahead to it. Murphy plays it back behind her own goal. That banked in along the far boards, right back out into the neutral zone. Gathered up by Bryce there. Bryce gains the Penn State zone in the high slot. Shot there goes just wide to the far side. Swanson has that tipped away in the far corner by Murphy. As getting it back, coming in. There's a shot off the side of the net by Lindahl and a save by Ware. 12:43 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far from Yost Ice Arena. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Malashevsky in to take the face-off. Mudrick on the other side for the Nittany Lions. We appreciate all of you watching wherever you are at. We are grateful for your support of both of these teams. Face-off in that far face-off circle. The puck comes back to the far point, held in there by Bryce. Bryce sends it over to Katie German in the high slot. Shot goes wide to the near side. Backhanded shot by Swanson. Ware got a glove on it and covered it up. 12:33 left to go here in the first. Face-off in the near face-off circle. At the Ware's left. And Malashevsky in versus Bove. That puck outside the near circle. Into the near corner. Swanson with it. Swanson sends it back to Malashevsky. Malashevsky back to Swanson in along the end board. Swanson trying to avoid heavy pressure. Stumpo trying to pull that away. Bove digging in the near corner. Now Lindahl trying to chip in and pull it away as they lever against the boards. And puck comes loose into the near corner. Swanson with it. Swanson has that poked away by Bove. Now it's in along the end boards. That poked away. Lindahl trying to grab it in the far corner. Pulled back around. Here comes Pisano. Pisano over on blue line. Poke checked away by Lindahl. Grabbed back by Barron into the far corner. Swanson trying to get it. Now Pisano. And to fire it down the ice. That ended up out of play. Back into the Penn State Penn State bench. 11:49 left to go here in the first. Scoreless game so far. Wolverines with over, at least according to the game sheet, over 90 shots on goal. According to the game sheet, 44 in the third alone. For the last game in that third period. Pulling it back behind, trying to fire it out in front. That puck gathered in. Here comes Penn State racing ahead with it. Bars fires it into the Michigan zone. Forehand has it outside the far circle. Now Samidi trying to get it loose. Pulling it away. Bars with a shot. Forehand got her stick in the way. That fired right through the crease. All the way back, top of the far circle. Shot there, deflected into the near corner. Samidi with it, sends it back to the near point for Murphy. Murphy feeds it into the near corner. Trying to pull it away is Pinto. Into the near corner. Trying to knock it away, Gargiulo still battling. That comes on the near circle. Shot by Pinto. Loose, another shot. Two great saves by Pontiff. That puck in the slot. Bars with a shot and a glove save. Oh, Pontiff proving what an amazing goalkeeper she is. And Penn State with some fantastic opportunities. But Pontiff robbing them. It's 0-0, 11:03 left to go here in the first. Face-off is going to be in the far face-off circle. That's going to be to Pontiff's left. As McDonald in to take the face-off versus Matthews. That puck into the near corner. Kolwich with it. Kolwich feeds it ahead. That intercepted by Murphy at center ice for Penn State. Banked off of the far boards. Gathered up by Matthews. Matthews feeds it deep into the Penn State zone. Add in along the end boards. Gathered up. Simmer trying to knock it away. Rico trying to grab it now. Top of the far circle. Izzy German with a shot that goes wide into the far corner. Matthews outside the far circle. Now Matthews coming in. Shot saved by Ware. And loose on the near circle. And deflected. Now coming ahead with it. Here comes Rico. Rico gets it back into the neutral zone. Michigan sets back up, sending it ahead to Simmer. Simmer at center ice. Simmer moves it over, coming in. There's a shot and a save. As I believe that was Malashevsky outside the near circle. Malashevsky trying to battle, trying to pull it off of the boards. Malashevsky feeds it. Here comes Lindahl. She has her stick lifted, and that puck goes all the way back to the far point. Izzy German with it there. Izzy German over to Swanson, top of the near circle. Shot saved by Ware. 9:59 left to go here in the first. Scoreless game so far between Michigan and Penn State. Face-off is going to be to Ware's left in the near face-off circle. Malashevsky in to take the face-off. Bove on the other side. Is that puck brought? Here comes Swanson into the slot. Swanson moves it back, top of the near circle. Trying to avoid pressure into the near corner by Stumpo. Back at it through the slot. Oh, Lindahl just couldn't get her stick on it. And pulled and fired by Barron back into the neutral zone. Michigan resets at their own blue line. Coming down the near boards, Katie German. Her pass intercepted. Bove coming the other direction. Fires it deep into the Michigan zone. Pontiff stops it right back behind her own goal. Coming down the far boards, here comes Bryce. Bryce feeding it. That intercepted by Samidi. Pontiff tips it into the far corner. Bryce, puck wouldn't settle down for her and pulled back to the far point, racing over. Puck loose, tipped by Chiango. Now down the near boards, Michigan fires it out into the neutral zone. Chiango fires it right back in and sticked into the far corner again by Pontiff. Here comes Bryce trying to avoid pressure by Pinto. The puck comes back into the near corner. Penn State with some good pressure here as the puck now rolls on edge all the way back into the neutral zone. Grove feeds it back over on the far side to Stumpo. Stumpo fires it through the neutral zone. Katie German from her own blue line. That pass intercepted, fired right back in by Bowers. As that'll go back behind the Michigan goal, but the wrong side. As that is going to be icing fired from the wrong side of center ice, and that is going to be back into the Penn State zone. 8:42 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Face-off in the far face-off circle. As Barr's talking things over with the official. As I believe she's trying to say it should be at center ice. As the official's talking things over now. Barr's heads back. Gargiulo in to take the face-off versus Mudrick. That puck outside. Loose on the far circle, pulled away. Now here comes Proctor in the high slot. At grab, Blake fires it ahead. Racing, here comes Bars over center ice. Bars gains his own, backhands it deep back behind the Michigan goal. Levinson gathers it up there. Levinson feeds it down the far boards, tipped back over to Gargiulo. Gargiulo over own blue line, coming down the far boards of the neutral zone. Gargiulo, top of the far circle. Now high slot with a wrister and a save by Ware. 8:16 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Face-off will be in the Penn State zone. It's going to be in the far face-off circle at the Ware's right. Ceballos in to take the face-off. Bove looks like she's going to be on the other side. Christensen to Ceballos right. And moved along the boards outside the near circle. Stumpo with it there. Now intercepted. Ceballos with a shot. That deflects up into the netting. Is getting a stick on it. I believe that was Barron putting a stick out in the way. Good shot by Ceballos. 8:05 left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far. Ceballos going to grab that. Stumpo had it now. Backhanded shot by Christensen. Shot from the slot just goes wide. The puck into the far corner now. Back behind. Bringing it ahead is Rico. Rico feeds it into the neutral zone down the near board. Trying to get it over to Bove, who puts it into the Michigan zone. Now Izzy German back behind her own goal. Izzy German knocked off the puck. Trying to get it out in front is Bove. Now Levinson trying to knock it away, the puck. Izzy German trying to pull it off of the end boards. There's a shot from the far circle that just goes wide outside the near circle now. The puck into the near corner. Bove battling there. Michigan trying to pull it off of the boards as that goes into the far corners. Goldman bringing it ahead. And loose on the far circle, now coming in. Backhanded shot, Poneth with a save. Izzy German coming down the far boards, trying to avoid pressure by Stumpo. And trying to dig that away. Levinson, or Ceballos in there as well. That loose on the far circle coming in. Shot just goes wide to the near side. Bars has it on the near circle for Penn State. Bars feeds it all the way, top of the far circle as there's a shot by Pisano, and she scores. As Penn State scores first, they have the 1-0 lead. That at 6:55. As Pisano with the goal. I believe Poneth was screened on that shot. So we'll see if we have an assist. Penn State shut out last night, gets the first goal of today's game, and they're a team on a mission looking to try and get the split. Here comes Simmer. Through the neutral zone, through the slot, that covered up by Ware. 6:49 left to go here in the first. Penn State 1, Michigan 0. Face-off is going to be in the far face-off circle. Pisano with the goal for Penn State. Now trying to win it. Matthews in along the far boards. That back to Bryce at the far point. The puck on the far circle coming in through the slot, trying to get it to Simmer. And it just went off of a skate. Now coming down the near boards. Penn State gets it into the neutral zone. Matthews trying to poke it right back in. So 22 and 26 are the assists. I thought 22 Pisano had the goal, so I am obviously wrong about that. Someone tipped it out in front. The puck coming down as Matthews has it down the far boards. That fired back into the far corner. Gathered up by Pisano, who fires it back to the far point. Held in there by Swanson, puts it into the far corner. Now Matthews trying to feed it out in front. Swanson chasing it. McDonald sends it all the way down the boards, banked off of the near boards and back into the Michigan zone. Katie German going to get it, and that will be icing and head back into the Penn State zone. Penn State up 1-0, 5:50 left to go. Here in the first. Face-off will be in the far face-off circle. Matthews in to take the face-off versus Mudrick. That comes back to the far point. Shot there, saved by Ware. Deflects it back behind Grobe. Trying to get to it. Swanson trying to pull it out there and whistle. 5:41 left to go here in the first. Penn State up 1-0. Face-off in the far face-off circle. That is going to be to Ware's left. Malashevsky in to take the face-off versus both. And puck loose on the far circle as Lindahl into the far corner. Lindahl in along the end boards. Going from the far side to the near side. Lindahl underneath the near circle now. Lindahl into the near corner, trying to avoid pressure by Murphy. Feeds out front, and a score by Swanson. Michigan has tied it up as Swanson puts it in from a beautiful pass from Lindahl. And Michigan makes it 1-1. And at 5:28, so just over 1 minute, 30 seconds later, Michigan able to get the equalizer, and it's 1-1 face-off right at center ice as Gargiulo facing Pinto. That comes back to the Michigan blue line, racing ahead. Samiti has it outside the near circle to Michigan zone. Forehand, trying to knock that away. Swanson again with the goal. Lindahl with the assist. Fired it right out in front. And Swanson had a beautiful job not wasting a moment and firing it in before Ware could react to it. That pull back. Robe has it at center ice. Fires it all the way back deep into the Michigan zone. All knotted up at 1 apiece. Just under 5 minutes left to go here in the first. Bringing it ahead is Gargiulo over own blue line. Gargiulo headed down the far boards. Gains the Penn State zone. Gargiulo into the slot. Gargiulo on the near circle. Gargiulo fires it. That went off of his skate outside the near circle. As Pisano trying to pull it off of the near boards. Now Kolwich trying to hold it in. That slips all the way back into the Michigan zone. Brown racing, trying to knock it away from Izzy German, who has it in along the far boards of her own zone. Now brought back, that puck in along the near boards. Bank trying to get it to Proctor. Pulled by Chiango. Chiango over center ice. Chiango has that tipped by Kolwich as it goes into the far corner, rolling into the far corner of the Michigan zone. Bringing it ahead, Evans. Feeds it over. Here comes Michigan over their own blue line. Proctor's pass got stopped. And a pair of skates. Matthews trying to get to it. Now Stumpo feeds it ahead for Penn State. Is that into the near corner? Izzy German trying to knock it away from Bove. The puck loosened along the end boards. Trying to feed it out in front was Barron. Right back behind Poneth is the puck. Slides in along the far boards. Izzy German trying to get it out of the zone. Held in by Pisano at the far point. Now Pisano backhanded shot. That got knocked down. Fed in along the near boards as Izzy German with a beautiful shot block. Penn State fires it back deep. Barron puts it in along the end boards as Penn State goes for a line change. Kolwich puts it down the far boards, banks it into the neutral zone, intercepted by Samit for Penn State, who brings it right back into the Michigan zone. Samit, top of the near circle, now into the near corner for Pinto. Pinto feeding it in along the end boards. Matthews trying to pull that away as Barr is trying to fire it out in front. Here comes Michigan down the near boards of their own zone. As that fed in along the near boards, Matthews gets it to Simmer. Simmer with a shot. That one sticked in along the far boards by Ware. Evans in the high slot. Evans feeds down to the near circle for Katie German into the near corner. Katie German back behind the goal, trying to fire a backhanded shot. That got knocked down by Murphy, and then Penn State fires it all the way back to the Michigan blue line. Bryce over to Katie German down the near boards. Katie German trying to avoid Samiti. Now that pulled right back in by Chiango and fired into the Michigan zone, but that'll be icing. 2:42 left to go. Here in the first, Michigan 1, Penn State 1. Penn State scored first, that at 6:55. Michigan able to knot it up at 1 apiece at 5:28 here in the first. Matthews in versus McDonald. In the near face-off circle, that to Ware's left. Now Swanson in along the near board. Swanson. She had the lone Wolverine tally so far. Malashevsky trying to poke that away from Murphy as well. That puck coming in. Lindahl with a shot and she scores! Lindahl catches the inner corner of the far post and Michigan goes up 2-1 as beautiful pass set up. I believe that was Malashevsky. We'll double check. But Michigan with a goal. That at 2:29. And Lindahl keeping her team lead in points. As Michigan now with the 2-1 lead, answering back the early goal by Penn State. taking the 1-goal lead. Bove in to take the face-off versus Gargiulo right at center ice. Proctor to Gargiulo's left, Ruben to right. And pulls back. Penn State has it down the near boards. Now racing ahead with it is Bove. Bove gets it at the near point of the Michigan zone. Now sweeps it across the ice. Coming over center ice is Ruben for Michigan. Tipped by Proctor outside the near circle of the Penn State zone. Murphy rims it all the way around the boards. Barron has it outside the far circle. Stolen away by Gargiulo. Gargiulo in the far circle. Now that's sent ahead. Here comes Penn State is Bove. Over center ice. Bove banks it off the near boards. Trying to get around McCarthy. Bove on the near circle. And pass outside the far circle. Barron trying to get to it. Now Levinson back behind her own goal. Malashevsky on the assist on the Lindahl goal. Proctor has it in her own slot. Now comes over the blue line, feeds it down the far boards. As that almost went to Gargiulo, who was going off on a line change. Thankfully didn't touch any of the players, so no call for too many players on the ice. And puck down the far boards. Here comes Bars for Penn State. Bars trying to get it into the slot to Pinto. Pinto, puck wouldn't settle down. That rim back. Samiti back behind the Michigan goal. Feeds onto the far circle with a shot that just goes high into the near corner. Here comes Lindahl for Michigan. Feeds it down into the neutral zone. Chiango on the near boards. Feeds it over to Grobe on the far boards. Grobe feeds it into the Michigan zone. McCarthy, top of the near far circle, feeds it over. Here comes Michigan. Levinson over her own blue line. She banks it all the way back. That is going to be icing and head back into the Michigan zone. 49.8 seconds left to go here in the first. Penn State with the early goal, but Michigan answers back twice. They have the 2-1 lead here on afternoon action at Yost Dice Arena. Second game of a doubleheader between these two teams. Michigan got the first game. Penn State coming out with a lot of fire trying to pull this second game. The puck, top of the far circle, that tipped away by Grove, now coming the other direction. Here comes Michigan as Ceballos on the far circle. Ceballos feeds it into the slot. Christensen couldn't quite stop there, loses an edge, coming back the other direction. Here comes Mudrick, top of the near circle for Penn State. That poked in along the near board, sent back into the neutral zone. Chiango puts it into the high slot. That pulled away by Izzy German, who banks it down the far boards. Tipped the other direction by Grobe. As that puck now brought in along the far boards of the Penn State zone. Matthews has it, top of the far circle. Chipped off of a pair of skates. Here comes Penn State racing ahead with it. Is Grobe. Grobe gets it over to Barron, who fires it back deep. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. That will do it for the first. Michigan takes a 1-goal lead into the second, 2-1. Let's play a little bit of the victors, and we will be right back with your intermission scoreboard report. Exciting first period as it was. Let's go over as it wasn't Pisano who got the goal. She had the assist and the second assist to Barr, so I'm not sure who got that first Penn State goal, but that was at 6:55 that Michigan answered back as Swanson put it in from a beautiful pass from Lindahl at 5:28. That tied it up at 1-1. Then Lindahl got a pass from Malashevsky right out in front and buried that one at 2:29, and that is Michigan with the 2-1 lead. Let's play a little bit of the victors. as we are at the first intermission. It is Michigan 2 and Penn State 1. Now it's time for an intermission scoreboard report. Let's look at ACHA Women's Division I scores from yesterday. It was Michigan State beating Lake Superior State over at the Ice Den over in Howell, Michigan. I don't think I've been to that ice rink before. 2-1 was the score. Michigan State beating Lake Superior State University. No score reported between Grand Canyon University and the Air Force Academy. It was a final as Grand Valley State University beat Concordia 9-1. That over at Griff's Georgetown. Final in overtime, University of Jamestown beat Minnesota by a score of 7-6. It was Liberty beating Lindenwood 8-1. We know about the Michigan score from yesterday. Arizona State shut out Colorado by a score of 7-0. And it was McKendree beating Rhode Island 9-2. That's your intermission scoreboard report. Let's see if anything is noted for today. Couple games in action. Aquinas is hosting Lake Superior State University. No score reported. It's Grand Canyon University again hosting the Air Force Academy. At 6:15 Mountain Standard, Grand Canyon hosts Colorado State. So it looks like they have a pair of games there. At 1 o'clock Central, it's McKendree hosting University of Rhode Island for the second game of two. Those are the games happening today in the ACHA. Well, let's play a little bit of the Michigan Marching Band, and we will be back with your second period action here at the First Air Michigan. Michigan 2, Penn State 1. You're watching Michigan Women's Hockey, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. are getting back to play. Matthews firing it back in along the end boards. Chiango picks it right through the slot in along the near boards. As that tipped over, here comes Evans. Evans coming through the slot. Evans backhanded shot. Ooh, that just missed the far post. Evans banks it all the way back to Levinson at the near point. Levinson sending it outside the near circle for Evans. Pulling it down, battling with Pinto. 1935, that puck sticked into the near corner is where got a piece of it. Loose on the near circle, now back to Levinson at the near point. Levinson with the blast. That got caught in bar skates. Now Simmer with the shot. And fired, banked off of the far boards, loose. Penn State gets it into the neutral zone. Levinson chases it all the way back in along the far boards of her own zone. Now over her own blue line. Levinson down the near boards. Levinson gains his own, top of the near circle. Levinson, shot. Wide angle shot and a save by Ware. 19:05 left to go here in the first. Puck gathered at the blue line, fired in along the far boards by Levinson. Levinson gets it outside the far circle. Levinson goes back behind the goal, now underneath the near circle. Levinson trying to fire it out in front. That knocked down by Rico outside the near circle. Penn State trying to feed it ahead. Izzy German pinches that loose, now held in by Swanson. Fired over in along the blue line, ahead by Barron. Now that comes back into the Michigan zone. Matthews, top of the far circle. Excuse me, that's Kolwich. Kolwich fires it ahead. That goes all the way down the ice. That'll be icing and head back into the Michigan zone. 18:29 left to go. Here in the first. 2-1 Michigan with the lead. Face off in the near face-off circle, that to the left of Ponith as Mudrick trying to win that in along the near boards, banked off the far boards. Here comes Lindahl, top of the far circle in the Penn State zone. Lindahl coming in, backhanded shot, saved by Ware. The puck held in by Katie German, top of the far circle. Now through the slot, trying to get it to Lindahl. The puck loose, battling. Swanson trying to fire it in as that shot comes. Malashevsky had a good shot. That comes outside the far circle. Tipped to the far point. Held in by Swanson, who puts it back in along the end boards as it slips back behind Ware into the near corner. Rocketed down the near boards all the way back. Icing waved off. Katie German picks it up back behind her own goal, coming in along the near boards. Katie German. Oh, that intercepted. Here comes Bars. Bars through the slot. Poked back away. Right at the near point. Rubin has it at her own blue line. And sent back out to center ice. Stolen away by Samidi. Gathered up by Bryce. Bryce fires it off the far boards. Proctor retreats to her own blue line. Now feeds it ahead to Gargiulo. Back over to Katie German. Top of the far circle of her own zone. Gets it over to Rubin along the near boards of the neutral zone. That fired all the way ahead. Trying to get to it. That's going to be icing. Fired from the wrong side of center ice. And that'll come right back into the Michigan zone. That to the left of Ponit. 17-19 left to go here in the second. 2-1. Michigan with the lead. Face off in the near face off circle. As the puck, top of the near circle, bringing it ahead. Here comes Michigan as Rubin loses an edge right at center ice. And top of the far circle, Proctor trying to get to it. That got caught in Chiango's skates. Chiango rimming it around the boards back to the far point as Levinson retreats into the neutral zone back to her own blue line. Levinson puts it in along the near boards to Bryce. Bryce through the neutral zone. That ahead. Now Gargiulo, top of the far circle. Gargiulo coming back behind Ware. Underneath the near circle now. Gargiulo feeding it through the slot, trying to get it over to Simmer. Simmer battling into the near corner. Now that pulled ahead by Penn State into the neutral zone where Levinson has it. Trying to avoid pressure by Bars. And tipped by Stumpo. Now comes back and along the near boards in the Michigan zone. Top of the far circle coming in. Stumpo trying to get into the slot. Levinson pulls it right back behind Ponif. Now Bove trying to knock it away. That comes outside the near circle where Evans tries to get it out of the zone. There's a shot and a save by Ponith as Grove fired it from the near point and it slipped past Good job by Ponnet to see it as there was a lot of traffic out front. 16-16 left to go here in the second. 2-1 Michigan with the lead. Michigan trying to sweep the weekend, and Penn State trying to get a split. That puck outside the far circle. Here comes Lindahl. Lindahl down the far boards. Lindahl brings it into the Penn State zone outside the far circle. Lindahl coming in, feeds it over. Oh, puck just wouldn't settle down. As great opportunity trying to feed it to Swanson just on the near corner of the crease. Stumpo gets it back out into the neutral zone, racing ahead. Barron gains the Michigan zone. Barron has that tipped away by Izzy German. Loose now pulled back by Kolwich, back behind her own goal. Kolwich down the near boards, ahead to Swanson. Swanson through the neutral zone, gains the zone. Swanson outside the near circle. Swanson feeds it right through the slot. That picked up. Coming down the far boards is Blake for Penn State. Blake gets it back into the neutral zone. Gathered up there by Katie German, who slides back to her own blue line. Katie German comes ahead with it. Katie German fires that tipped off of Pisano's skates back into the Michigan zone. Izzy German in the high slot of her own zone, over her own blue line. Izzy German over center ice down the near boards. Izzy German gains the zone. Izzy German outside the near circle. Through the slot. Rubin trying to get to it. Puck wouldn't settle down for her. Now Proctor gets it outside the far circle in the Penn State zone. Proctor goes high slot now on the near circle. Proctor backhanded shot. And loose. Proctor comes back behind the goal. Proctor pinned against the boards by Pisano. Proctor through that slot and covered up by Ware. Oh, Proctor trying to feed it right into the slot. Gargiulo was waiting, but Ware able to cover it up. 14:46 left to go here in the second. 2-1, Michigan with the lead. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That to Ware's right. Matthews in to take the face-off. As Pinto on the other side comes outside the near circle. Matthews trying to dig it off the boards. That pulled away. Here comes Penn State as Bars gets it into the neutral zone. Now Pinto has it poked away. Evans comes into the zone. Evans on the near circle. Shot in a glove save by Ware. 14:30 left to go here in the second. Michigan by goal, 2-1. Face-off in the near face-off circle. And to Ware's right, Matthews in to take the face-off. Pinto on the other side. That comes back to Bryce. Bryce went off of a skate coming in. Here comes Evans. That tipped back. Simmer with a shot. That into the near corner. Simmer trying to battle with Grobe into the near corner. That pulled away. Grobe coming down the near boards. Trying to bank it out of the zone. Evans puts it right back on the near circle. Now Matthews trying to get it over to Simmer. That pulled back away by Bars. Bars over her own blue line coming down the neutral zone. Bars gains the Michigan zone. Top of the far circle. Bars trying to go back behind the Michigan goal. Good job by Katie German. She loses her stick. Now that puck skipped over. Shot and a save by Poneth as Bove got it. Coming in just on the inner corner of that far circle. Rifle shot in the slot. And a good save by Poneth. 13:52 left to go. Here in the second. Good fist bump by Levinson to Poneth. Face off in the far face off circle. Malashevsky in versus Bove. That to Poneth's right. Michigan 2, Penn State 1. 13:48 left to go here in the second. Here comes Malashevsky over center ice. Malashevsky top of the near circle with a shot. As that's a blocker save by Ware. Malashevsky underneath the near circle. Malashevsky has it poked away. Now Swanson trying to get it in the near circle. Outside the near circle, back to the near point. Levinson has it for Michigan. That went off of a skate. Holding it in was forehand with a shot that just goes wide to the near side. And banked. Loose on that far circle. Now fired back into the neutral zone. Racing ahead with it. Good job by Swanson to pull it away from Barron. Swanson banks it off the far boards. Back into the Penn State zone it goes. That gathered up. As Stumpo feeds it down the near boards as Pisano gains the Michigan zone, top of the near circle. Pisano with a shot. Good save by Poneth into the far corner. Barron puts it right back behind the Michigan goal into the near corner. 12:55 left to go here in the second. 2-1 Michigan with the lead. Swanson trying to grab it. That pulled back around by Brown. The puck right at the Michigan blue line. Coming ahead with it is Levinson. Levinson feeds it all the way into the far corner. Proctor chasing it as Michigan goes for a line change. Proctor right back behind Ware. Loses her stick. now bringing it ahead. Chiango has it. Izzy German trying to hold it in at the near point. Izzy German feeds it into the near corner. Rubin chases it there. And outside the near circle, Gargiulo gets it to Rubin. Into the slot. Proctor with the shot. Still loose, and they score! Michigan puts it in, as I believe that is going to be Rubin who scored the goal, making it 3-1. And Rubin with the goal, number 25, and I believe the assist is going to be to Proctor and Gargiulo. We'll see that at 12:19 in the second. Goal by Michigan as they go up 3-1 on Penn State. And puck right at the blue line, fired ahead, trying to get to Bars. Is that brought in by Samiti into the Michigan zone? Gargiulo in the slot, pulls it down the near boards of her own zone, backhands it into the neutral zone. Rubin there, trying to get it to center ice. That intercepted. Samiti gets it over to Bars, who feeds it deep into the Michigan zone, into the near corner. And pulled back by Izzy German in along the far boards, gets it over to Proctor in the far corner. Proctor goes back behind her own goal. Again, yes, it was Rubin from Proctor and Gargiulo for the third goal. Back to the far point. Murphy holds it in for Penn State, cycles it down into the far corner. Kolwich grabs it right behind her own goal. Pokes it outside the near circle for Rubin. Rubin feeding it ahead. Here comes Michigan over their own blue line. Gargiulo puts it down the far boards for Proctor, who gains the zone. Fires it into the far corner of the Penn State end. Trying to avoid Rico. Proctor right back behind Ware. Proctor now switches directions underneath the near circle, right out in front. That covered up by Ware. It's Murphy able to tip it and guide it right into Ware's glove. 11 minutes, 11 seconds left to go here in the second. 3-1, Michigan with the lead. Huge CCWHA East Pod points here on the line. As well as just a good battle between Michigan and Penn State. It's always a good time when you see these two schools get together for a competition. Snap puck back to the near point, trying to hold it in as Christensen has to retreat. Michigan fires it down the far boards. Christensen gains his own. Top of the far circle with the shot that just goes wide. Coming down the near boards is Bove. Bove gets it into neutral zone, pulled right back in by Ceballos with the shot and covered up by Ware. Now Christensen trying to attack the crease, looking for a rebound. Ware able to freeze it. 10:49 left to go here in the second. Face off in the near face off circle. Michigan up 3-1. Matthews in to take the face off. Bove on the other side. That puck comes back to the near point where Bryce has it. Bryce. Shot. That got knocked down by Barron outside the near circle. Barron feeds it into the neutral zone. Simmer gathers it up now. Fired it back in by Katie German back behind Ware. That puck outside the near circle. Barron trying to get to it. Lifted back. Now slips into the neutral zone right at center ice where Bryce picks it up. She banks it off the far boards, and puck loose and comes back into the Michigan zone. Bryce on the far circle of her own zone, trying to avoid pressure by Barron. Here comes Evans down the near boards of the neutral zone. Her pass tipped away by Blake. Now Katie German gains the zone, top of the far circle. Katie German, high slot. Rister, that got blocked out in front. Outside the near circle, I think Mudrick got a piece of it. Banked back to Katie German at the near point. She goes high slot. Katie German trying to poke that away. Here comes Matthews on the near circle. Matthews coming in. Matthews with a shot and Ware with a save. 9:51 left to go here in the second. 3-1, Michigan with the lead. And if you want to reach out to the broadcast, you can either send us a message on our website. There's some spots you can do that right at the bottom, or email us at arborbroadcasting@gmail.com. That's arborbroadcasting@gmail.com. At puck in the slot, Lindahl trying to get to it. Malashevsky trying to knock it away. Shot saved by Ware, and it comes right back behind. Ware getting the left leg pans in the way, now bringing it ahead. Here comes Pisano. As that puck gathered up, Samiti into the high slot. Samiti goes outside the far circle of the Michigan zone, sweeps it back to the far point. Now Pisano has it, top of the near circle with a shot. And swings all the way back out to Rico. Rico has that deflected away, and here comes Michigan. Over the neutral zone, gaining the zone is Lindahl. Lindahl on a breakaway. Lindahl comes in. Lindahl, backhanded shot. And able to make this save is Ware, as Lindahl came in the far side, cut across the crease, went forehand, backhand, and tried to put it in. And a good job to get her pads in the way by Ware. 9:12 left to go here in the second. 3-1 Michigan with the lead. Line changes by both squads. Gargiulo in to take the face-off. Proctor to her right. Rubin to her left. Bove will be on the other side of the face-off circle. That to Ware's right. At puck, back to Rubin, top of the near circle, goes high slot for Koltwich. That deflects just wide to the near side. Bars trying to get it out of the zone. That held in outside the near circle by Gargiulo. High slot coming in. Here comes Proctor with a backhanded shot that just goes wide to the far side. Gargiulo outside the far circle in the Penn State zone, racing her way in. And shot just goes wide, covered up by Ware. 8:50 left to go here in the second. Michigan with the 2-goal lead, as it was Penn State who had the early lead, got the first goal. And then Michigan with 3 unanswered goals, 2 in the first, 1 in the second. The puck on the far face-off circle, and is trying to get to it. Murphy, that pulled. Now Murphy into the far corner of her own zone. She rims it all the way around the boards outside the near circle. That gathered up and fired, banked into the neutral zone. Izzy German firing it right back in. Michigan touches up to avoid a delayed offsides. As Grobe has it in along the far board, sending ahead to Bove. Down the far boards of the neutral zone, fires it all the way back deep into the Michigan zone. That into the near corner. Stopped actually by Pontiff right back behind her own goal. And it comes outside the near circle. Evans with it there. Evans, Mudrick watching her. Evans comes down the near boards of the neutral zone. Now fires it along the far boards. Matthews trying to get to it. Knocked down by Brown. As the puck loose. Now here comes Mudrick into the Michigan zone. Feeds it into the far corner. Racing over to get it, Izzy German in along the end boards. Brown trying to pull that away. That goes right to the high slot. Pisano with a shot. That deflects outside the near circle. Michigan chips it into the neutral zone. Here comes Evans down the near boards. Gains the zone. Evans, top of the near circle. Fires it through her legs and along the end boards. Racing to get it is Simmer right back behind the goal. Simmer underneath the near circle. That chipped, bouncing puck back to the near point. Now wouldn't settle down for Bryce. She retreats back to her blue line, gets it over to Katie German down the far boards. Katie German ricochets it off the far boards. Now racing in. Lindahl into the far corner and pulled back by Pisano, who puts it into the near corner of her own zone. Malashevsky trying to dig it out of that near corner. She ends up on the ice as they're trying to dig that away. Now here comes Lindahl, top of the near circle. Lindahl in the slot, feeds it over on the far circle for a shot and a score as Evans, or no, was that Katie German? I believe that was Katie German who puts it in. She leads all defenders with the most points. And Michigan goes up 4-1 with their second goal in the second. That at 7:06. As Katie German got a beautiful pass and fired it just from the far side of the crease. Forehand coming down the far boards, knocks it back into the Penn State zone. And over and along the near boards to Rico. Rico, loose puck, trying to get it is Samiti. Now here comes Michigan. As top of the near circle, that fed back down by Gargiulo. Outside the near circle, Proctor trying to pull that away. Lindahl on the assist on the German goal, Katie German. As into the near corner it goes. Gargiulo trying to fire at that. Loose on the inner edge of the near circle. Now Rubin goes back behind the goal. Rubin outside the far circle. Fires it right back behind where Gargiulo there. Trying to get away from Rico. Rico fires it along the near boards. Now Levinson putting it back deep in along the end boards. And puck, top of the near circle. Christensen trying to take a shot that went off of Samiti's skates. Loose in the high slot. Now here comes Samiti over own blue line. Samiti over center ice for Penn State. Samiti gains the Michigan zone. Top of the far circle. Samiti goes into the far corner, driven wide. Now trying to get underneath the far circle. That poked away. Michigan trying to get to it. That held in by Chiango outside the near circle. Now Rico holds it in at the near point. Over to Bove in the near corner. As good job by forehand to knock down that centering attempt. That one goes right through the crease. Christensen picks it up outside the far circle of her own zone. Gets it ahead to center ice. Now coming in Here comes Ceballos. Ceballos outside the far circle. Ceballos feeds it in along the end boards as Chiango trying to get it outside of the zone. That over to Izzy German, top of the near circle. Izzy German goes outside the near circle, now into the near corner. Izzy German back behind the goal. Sends it top of the far circle for a wrister and a glove save by Ware as Kolich had a blast from the top of the far circle. Ware able to cover it up. 4-1, Michigan with the lead. 5:12 left to go here in the second. Michigan looking for the weekend sweep. Penn State trying to cut into this lead and get some momentum going. The puck loose on the far circle. Back to Kolich. Kolich trying to feed it into the far corner for Evans. Murphy pulls it into the near corner. Matthews gathers it up there in along the end boards from the near side to the far side. Evans outside the far circle. Evans back over to Kolich on the far circle. Kolich with a wrister and saved by Ware. As Simmer was right on the doorstep hoping for a rebound. Evans right over there as well. Ware gets the stop. Face off in the far face-off circle. 4:50 left to go here in the second. 4-1, Michigan with the lead. That puck top of the far circle. Now through the slot. Evans with a save and another Evans with the shot. Glove save by Ware. 4:44 left to go here in the second. Face-off is going to be to the left of Ware in the far face-off circle. Matthews in to take the face-off. Evans to her left. Simmer to her right as Pinto on the other side of the face-off circle. Trying to get in. The puck loose on that far circle. Now tipped back outside the far circle. Evans trying to get to it as Pinto trying to pull it away. Now Murphy sends it for a ride around the boards. Outside the near circle. Barrs trying to pull it off of the boards, trying to get it out of the zone. Pinto comes in. Pinto puts it back in along the end boards. Matthews now goes, feeds it into the slot. Battle for it. Covered up by Ware. It's a good job to put it right into the low slot. Swanson right there looking for her goal number 2 on the game. Ware able to get a glove on it. 4:19 left to go here in the second. 4-1, Michigan with the lead. Malashevsky in to take the face-off versus Pinto in the far face-off circle. Battle for the puck, trying to dig it away is Lindahl. Now Swanson into the far corner of the Penn State zone. Goes right back behind Ware from the far side to the near side. Underneath the near circle now. Swanson backhands it over. Malashevsky back behind the goal. Malashevsky trying to get to Lindahl in the slot. Now Bryce with a shot. Blocker saved by Ware as the puck outside the far circle. Malashevsky with it there. Malashevsky comes in. That shot went off of a skate outside the near circle. Barrs fires it. Held in at the near point by Bryce. And puck loose outside the near circle. And a dig in there. Lindahl. Barrs trying to pull it away as well. Now Grobe. Lindahl comes away with it. Now Swanson top of the far circle. Swanson outside the far circle into the far corner. Fires it over to Lindahl. Lindahl underneath the near circle in the Penn State zone. Lindahl trying to get into the slot. That got caught off of Samiti skates. Now Penn State rocketing it all the way back to the Michigan blue line. There's a little collision. That fired back deep by Barrs before she goes off for a line change for Penn State. Katie German ahead to Lindahl down the far boards of her own zone. Knocked down by Barron. To pull it into the far corner. Now Stumpo's centering attempt. And fired all the way back to the far point and slips back into the Penn State zone. Foot race as Chiango has it. Down the near boards. Fires it quickly ahead to Bove. That tipped away by Bryce, who gets it right back into the neutral zone. Racing in is Gargiulo, top of the near circle. Gargiulo goes wide. Backhanded right through the crease. Coming down. Stumpo gets it to the far point. McCarthy with a shot, and that covered up by Ware. 2:41 left to go here in the second. 4-1, Michigan has the 3-goal lead on Penn State. Gargiulo in to take the face-off versus Bove in the far face-off circle. That puck sitting right on the circle, sent back to the far point, held in there by McCarthy. McCarthy gets it on the far circle through the slot. Backhanded shot by Rubin, just went wide. Proctor into the far corner. Batherling. Barron there, Proctor, backhands it top of the near circle for Levinson with a wrister and a glove save by Ware. 2 minutes, 21 seconds left to go here at Yost Ice Arena. Face-off will be to the right of where in the near face-off circle. Matthews comes in to take the face-off. Bove on the other side. Outside the near circle. And puck loose. Evans trying to get to it. Now Levinson trying to chip it. As that comes, Simmer trying to get it. Knocked by Penn State. Now lifted all the way back into the neutral zone. McCarthy right at center ice. Wouldn't settle down. The puck wouldn't settle down for coming in Bove. Top of the near circle. Penalty upcoming to Michigan. As that's going to be a hooking call, I believe. Yep, hooking to Michigan. That at 2:01. Into the box goes McCarthy. It's taking a look. Michigan percentage on the penalty kill is 91% out of 68 attempts. 6 goals by the opponents, 2 shorthanded goals. There's a shot by Penn State into the far corner. And it comes all the way in along the far boards as Malashevsky fires it all the way down the ice. 1 minute 50 seconds left to go. As Penn State is 10% on the power play. They have 5 power play goals out of 50 attempts. Bringing it in. Here comes. There's a shot by Samiti. Save by Poneth. 1 minute 38 seconds left to go. 1:37 left in the penalty. So 1 second difference. Face-off in the far face-off circle. That to Poneth's right. Gargiulo in to take the face-off. Bars on the other side. Puck into the far corner. Katie German trying to knock it away. That fired all the way back to the far point is Pisano. Over to Ciano. And knocked away as Samiti gets it right into the slot. Now pulled away by Michigan. 1 minute, 23 seconds left to go here in the second. Gargiulo has it. Top of the far circle. Gargiulo into the far corner as Bars rides her off the puck. Gargiulo trying to spend as much time keeping Penn State from the Wolverine zone. 1 minute, 7 seconds left to go in the Penn State power play. 1 more second left to go in the second. The puck in along the near boards, brought ahead by Pisano, trying to get it over to Samiti. And fired right back and cleared all the way down the ice by Michigan as they go for a line change. Gathered up by Chiango. Chiango quickly ahead. Here comes Stumpo gaining the Michigan zone. As Bryce trying to knock it away. Stumpo loses an edge into the near corner. Bryce trying to poke that away. The puck right back behind Poneth. As 37 seconds left to go. Covered up by Poneth. 35.2 seconds left to go here in the second. 34 seconds left to go in the power play. For Penn State, face-off is going to be to Poneth right in the far face-off circle. Bove in to take the face-off versus Matthews. That puck into the far corner. Bove pinned there by forehand as it goes all the way back to Murphy at the far point. Murphy feeding it outside the far circle is Barron into the far corner. Puck battle there. Bove has it outside the far circle. Bove comes high, slot, trying to move it over. That tipped and grabbed and fired all the way down the ice by Lindahl. 11 seconds left to go. 9 seconds left to go. That puck into the far corner. Michigan with pressure back in the Penn State zone. 3 seconds left to go. Michigan back to full strength, and that is the end of the second. At the end of 2, it is Michigan 4, Penn State 1. We'll play a little bit of the victors, but first let's go over our second period action as it was a Michigan goal at 12:19 as Rubin fired it in. Assist to Proctor and Gargiulo. Then at 7:06 left to go here in the second, Michigan had another goal. Katie German fired it in. Lindahl with the assist. Then Michigan picked up the first penalty of the game. That with 2:01 left to go in the second, as it was a hooking call to McCarthy. Otherwise, really clean game. Only 1 penalty the entire game. Most impressive from these two teams battling as hard as they can, trying to get this big win here. Let's play a little bit of the victors, and then we will be right back with your University of Michigan scoreboard report. You're watching Michigan Women's Hockey, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. here at the second intermission where it is Michigan 4 and Penn State 1. By the way, we want to wish a very, very happy birthday to Goldberg, who had her 19th birthday yesterday, and she got the joy of playing emergency goalkeeper on that game, but we wish her a very, very happy 19th birthday. As now time for our Michigan intermission scoreboard report for the University of Michigan. Women's swimming and diving hosted number 5 Ohio State, as Ohio State won that one 186.5 to 113.5. Men's swimming and diving again hosted number 5 Ohio State, as Ohio State won that one 151.5 to 148.5. This is all happening yesterday. In men's track and field, Michigan was in the Simmons-Harvey Invitational. They were first out of 4 with 153 in points. Women's track and field, also at the Simmons-Harvey Invitational, was first out of 4 with 195. In water polo, Michigan beat number 8 Fresno State 13-9 at the Bulldog Fest. In water polo, Michigan lost to number 6 Hawaii, and also at the Bulldog Fest, that one 15-6 Hawaii with the win. In men's gymnastics, Michigan was 4th out of 6 at the Rocky Mountain Open at Air Force Academy, that with 398.9 points. And in ice hockey, huge win by the Wolverines as they take out number 2 Minnesota. They went to overtime on Friday's game. Minnesota able to get the win. This time in overtime, Michigan with the win as Trescott put it in for the 5-4 overtime win. Action today, water polo. Michigan battling number 4 California at the Bulldog Fest. They lost that one 13-10. In men's tennis, Michigan beat Brown by a score of 4-0. I'm going to refresh this because I know that Michigan beat Minnesota in men's basketball, but I don't see that here. Let's see if we can pull that down, and there it is. Michigan beat Minnesota over at Chrysler Center 60-58. 4-point win by Michigan over Minnesota. In wrestling, Michigan was at number 24 Rutgers and won that one 24-9. Men's tennis battling Cleveland State here in about 4 minutes. Then women's gymnastics are at number 14 Michigan State, 7 p.m. That'll be on the Big Ten Network, live from East Lansing. Here at the second intermission, it is Michigan 4, Penn State 1, and it is the second intermission, so you know what time it is. It's time for I Can't Turn You Loose.
Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to the Michigan Amphitheater. You know, so much of the music we hear today is this pre-programmed electronic disco. You never get a chance to hear master bluesmen practicing their craft. By the year 2006, the music now known as the blues will exist only in the classical record department of your local public library. And so, this afternoon, while we still can, let us welcome from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Gary Lewis and his blues band. Gary Lewis and his blues band.
as we're about to get back underway here at Yost Ice Arena for the third period. Michigan going from left to right here in this third period. Michigan in their home white jerseys. Penn State in their dark blue jerseys with the white sleeves and shoulders. 20 minutes up on the clock. Michigan up 4-1. Looking to close out the third and get the sweep. Penn State looking for a huge third period to pull off the upset. Coming in, Lindahl. Top of the near circle comes in. Lindahl with a shot. Saved by Ware. Lindahl back into the far corner, trying to keep away from Barron. That comes all the way back to the far point. Levinson with it. Shot from there. Glove saved by Ware. That comes over as Ware gets a leg over in front of it, as the official lost sight of it as it slipped just underneath that left leg and didn't see that it was still loose as Michigan batting away at it. A really good job by Ware to get the initial save and then get that leg over to stop Michigan from getting another goal in that set. Malashevsky in to take the face-off. Bove on the other side as that puck loose on the far circle as Lindahl brings it back behind the goal. Lindahl into the far corner with it. Lindahl on that far circle, ridden off the puck. Lindahl gets it back. Shot and a wrister and a score! Lindahl puts it upper left-hand corner. There wasn't much Ware could do about that. And Lindahl with her second goal of the game, as she has a goal and 2 assists, two goals and 2 assists. So a 4-point game so far for Lindahl, as she just increases her point lead for the team. Beautiful shot by Lindahl. Just knocked away, got it back on the edge of the slot, put it in upper left-hand corner. Pinto versus Gargiulo. That pull back, gathered up and along the near boards, bringing it ahead. As Chiango fires it over to Bars. Bars has it into the slot. Bars on the far circle. Shot saved by Ponnett. The puck in along the near boards. Proctor feeds it ahead. It ricochets off the far boards. As with the assist is Swanson. As the puck, bringing it ahead is Proctor. Proctor coming down the far boards, gains his own. Proctor outside the far circle, heads back behind Ware from the far side to the near side. Proctor feeds it top of the near circle to Kolwich, then gets it back outside the near circle. Proctor back to the near point, now sends it outside the near circle for Evans, who fires it in along the end boards. Gargiulo right back behind Ware, backhanding it, trying to get it out in front. That comes back over to Kolwich at the near point. Able to hold it in, trying to bank it ahead as Samiti fires it all the way down the ice for Penn State. Let me change the score there. 5-1. Michigan with the lead. 18-19 left to go here in the third, as that's going to come icing all the way back into the Michigan zone. That'll be, or into the Penn State zone, excuse me. That'll be in the far face-off circle, back to Ware's right. As Matthews wins that puck back, top of the far circle. Penn State gets it back in along the far boards of the neutral zone. Evans stops right in front of her own bench, heads over center ice. Evans gains his own, top of the far circle. Evans with a shot. Glove saved by Ware. 18:05 left to go here in the third. 5-1, Michigan with the lead. Face-off in the far face-off circle. That to Ware's right. Malashevsky in to take the face-off. Swanson to her right. As German and Bryce are the defenders, Lindahl to the left, as that's Mudrick for Penn State. And Lindahl battling in along the far boards as that puck back to the far point. Swanson fires it back deep. Rico into the far corner. Now Pisano gets it outside the near circle. Going to pull that away as Blake battle for it. And knocked away from Blake, right back behind the goal. Now Pisano fires it all the way down the far boards. Into the neutral zone. Bryce has it in front of her own bench. Sends it off the near boards. Katie German ahead to Lindahl. Lindahl fires it all the way back deep into the far corner of the Penn State zone. Gathered up there by Barron. Deflected as Blake feeds it. Saucering all the way back. Coming Michigan. Bryce has it. Gets the far point. Bryce Trying to fire it back deep as that puck in along the end boards. Pisano has it right back behind her own goal. Pisano waiting for a line change to finish up. Now Penn State feeds it down the near boards, racing ahead, trying to get to it is Rico. That popped away. Here comes Rubin into the zone. Proctor trying to get it. That knocked away. Right back into the neutral zone. Katie German waits for Michigan to touch up. Here comes Rubin, top of the far circle with a shot. That knocked down into the far corner. Pisano trying to pull that away now. Coming ahead with it. Stumpo feeds it all the way back to the Michigan blue line. McCarthy down the near boards, banks it ahead to Proctor. Proctor gains the zone outside the near circle. Shot sticked away by Ware. Bars down the far boards. Gargiulo able to hold it in. Now here comes Pinto right at center ice. Pinto down the near boards. Pinto fires it back deep into the Michigan zone. Into the far corner. Levinson picks it up. Levinson trying to poke it away from Bars. Now Samidi centering attempt that comes all the way back into the neutral zone along the near boards. Murphy gathers it up there. Murphy sends it ahead. Here comes Pinto, top of the near circle. Pinto trying to fire it deep. And Michigan trying to fire it out of the zone was McCarthy. Now Matthews chases it into the far corner. Matthews bringing it up the far boards. Matthews ahead to Proctor over her own blue line. Proctor down the far boards, gets it ahead to Evans, and the puck wouldn't settle down. Wouldn't come in with Evans. Now here comes Samidi the other direction. Deflected by Simmer, right back into the Penn State zone. Chasing to get it is Murphy into the far corner. She knocks it all the way back to the far point. Loose and whistle. As that is going to come outside of the Penn State zone when the officials talking things over. They'll get it figured out. 15:38 left to go here in the third. 5-1. Michigan with the lead as there's a penalty into the box. Goes Mudbrick. Looking for a signal, and I didn't see one. So at 15:38, Michigan goes on the power play. As the puck back behind the goal. Into the far corner, trying to come ahead through the slot. That moved over the Matthews, top of the near circle. Now high slot for Katie German. That deflected. Swanson right on the edge of the crease. As Michigan on the power play. We talked about Michigan's penalty kill percentage. Michigan on the power play, they are 9.3% on the power play. 9 power play goals out of 97 attempts. Matthews, top of the near circle. Matthews. That knocked off of a skate of Stumple. Now Matthews back to the near point. Matthews feeds it into high slot. Katie German outside the far circle for Rubin. Bench minor, too many players on the ice. As that puck comes back to the near point for Katie German. Katie German sends it to Matthews on the near circle. Now that comes right back behind the goal. Lindahl trying to pick it up there. 1 minute, 14 seconds left to go in the power play. 14:49 left to go here in the third. Michigan up by 4. As Matthews trying to get the puck. It's loose on the near circle. 1 minute, 3 seconds left to go. What's Penn State's penalty kill percentage? Well, they have a 72.3 penalty kill percentage. They've allowed in 13 goals on 47 attempts. Michigan down the near boards. Gargiulo races over to get it. That fired all the way down the ice, cleared by Penn State. 43 seconds left to go here in the power play for Michigan. As that puck right back in along the near boards. Here comes Michigan bringing it ahead. Is Gargiulo trying to avoid Bars' pressure. Gargiulo down the far boards. Gargiulo gains the zone. Gargiulo outside the far circle. Gargiulo fires it over to Proctor. That poked away. Barrett fires it all the way down the ice. 21 seconds left to go in the Michigan advantage. 13:55 left to go here in the third. The puck back behind the goal for Michigan. Now coming down the far boards is Evans. Evans over on blue line. Evans over center ice. Evans gains his own, top of the far circle. Evans into the far corner. 2 seconds, 1 second. Penn State back to full strength. 13:36 left to go here in the third as that puck comes right back behind the goal. Making a move. Malashevsky puts it into a slot and fired and putting it in. Michigan scores as right on the edge. That was Evans putting it in. Just as the power play expired, Evans with the goal. That at, let me put it up on the scoreboard, that at 13-28. As Michigan now with the 6-1 lead. Ceballos in taking the face-off versus Pinto. 13-28 left to go here in the third. As firing it in along the far boards. Picking it up, Ceballos. Ceballos at her own blue line comes down the near boards. Trying to avoid pressure by Samiti. Drops it back over to Kolwich. Kolwich in her own zone. Feeds it all the way down the far boards. Tipped by Ceballos. Racing over. That knocked down by Grobe. Now Blake feeds it ahead. So Malashevsky on the assist, Evans on the goal. Christensen has it right at center ice. That poked away. Samiti comes down the far boards and gains the Michigan zone. Samiti has it. That goes just wide into the far corner. Samiti outside the far circle. Centering attempt. That comes through the slot. Racing over. Backhanded shot by Murphy. That got deflected as it comes ahead. Christensen chasing it down over center ice. Christensen gains the zone. Banks it off the far board. Ceballos outside the far circle, feeds it right through the crease into the near corner. And brought as Murphy trying to knock it away, coming in Christensen as it poked in the slot, that bank back to the near point. Able to hold it in was Katie German. Katie German into the near corner, back behind the goal. Katie German sets up shop there. Underneath the near circle, Katie German over to Christensen with the shot. That got deflected back behind. Evans right back behind the goal. She had the last goal for Michigan. That got caught on the netting as they'll pull that, and it'll be a face-off in the Penn State zone. 12:03 left to go here in the third. 6-1 Michigan with the lead. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Matthews in to take the face-off. Bove on the other side, that to the left of Ware as Murphy goes off for a line change for Penn State. Gathered up by Simmer, who goes back behind the goal from the near side to the far side. Right through the slot. That pulled in along the near boards. Trying to bring it ahead is Rico down the near boards of the neutral zone. Matthews has it at her own blue line. Matthews trying to turn up as that goes right to the Penn State blue line coming in. Evans with a shot blocker save into the far corner by Ware. And puck fired all the way down the ice. That'll roll back over icing. Penn State, that'll head right back into the Penn State zone with 11:35 left to go here in the third. Michigan with a comfortable 6-1 lead as they are trying to get everything tuned up and good. Next game will be next Sunday here at Yost Ice Arena versus Adrian College. As that puck through the slot pulled away. Now over the neutral zone. Through and firing it back deep is McDonald. McDonald sends it right back behind the Michigan goal. Pulling it up, Levinson there. Levinson, top of the near circle. Rico with a shot. That got blocked right sitting in the low slot. Now Swanson trying to pull it away. Here comes Michigan. Racing over the blue line, coming down. And centering attempt, trying to get it over to Lindahl. That into the near corner for Malashevsky. As that was Levinson who started off that rush, sticked away into the far corner for Lindahl. Lindahl, top of the far circle, feeds out to near circle. Malashevsky trying to set up Swanson, and a great save by Ware as Swanson had it point blank. That puck on the far circle, trying to get it over to Malashevsky. That tipped. Now McDonald has it loose coming in. Malashevsky into the near corner of the Penn State zone. Back to forehand at the near point. Shot there, deflects into the near corner. Rico fires it all the way around the boards. Levinson pokes it into the far corner. Pinto rims it all the way around as forehand stops it at the near point. Forehand trying to fire it back deep into the near corner. Rico backhands it. Forehand comes over to Pinch, firing it. That tipped out in front. Ware with the save as Proctor racing over to get it. That swept in along the far boards, and Brown gets it out into the neutral zone. 10-11 left to go here in the third. Michigan up 6-1. Penn State continuing to battle, looking to try and make some kind of comeback, and a shot Proctor. The shot saved by Ware into the near corner. Samiti trying to feed it ahead. Kolwich has it at the near point. Kolwich trying to fire it back deep. That knockdown is Rico outside the near circle. Gets it back over to Samiti. Now coming ahead, Blake. That tip back to Samiti. Now in along the far boards. Here comes Bars. Bars feeds it ahead. Now Gargiulo tips it back to the far point. Held in. Both trying to chip it into the far corner. Both battling. Izzy German. And knocked away by Proctor coming down the far board. Samiti knocks that away, keeping it into the zone. The puck loose on the far circle of the Michigan zone. Now ricocheted off the far boards all the way back. Gove has it just inside of her own blue line. Trying to pull it ahead. Chiango sends it back into the neutral zone. Here comes Christensen, who gains the Penn State zone. Christensen has that poked into the far corner by Bove. Now Chiango trying to pull that away as the puck comes all the way back to the far point. Held in by Bryce. Sends it over. Top of the near circle. Katie German with a shot. That got blocked. Bove has it outside the near circle. Bove trying to battle Ceballos there. Ceballos trying to keep it in. Now here comes Christensen. Christensen gets it over on the far circle for Goldman. Goldman trying to make her way in. That goes off the side of the net. Battle for it. It comes all the way back to the far point. Bryce with a shot goes wide to the near side. 8:40 left to go. Here in the third, 6-1. Michigan with the lead outside the near circle. And pulled back into the near corner. Deflected. Trying to get to it. Stumpo trying to pull it off of the near board. Ceballos trying to get to it. Now that slips all the way back into the Michigan zone. Racing back to get it. Poneth stops it, feeds it over to Bryce coming down the far boards. Bryce quickly ahead to Christensen. Just out of her reach. That'll be icing and back into the Michigan net. 8:15 left to go here in the third. Penn State scored first. They had the goal back at 6:55. Michigan able to pull off 6 goals. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. Face-off in the far face-off circle. That to Poneth's left, coming ahead with it. And fed through the neutral zone. Here comes Christensen. Christensen racing ahead with it. Rico trying to knock that away into the near corner. Christensen loses her stick. That outside the near circle. Evans has it. High slot. Now comes over on the far circle. Evans with a shot that goes wide to the far side. Picked up back behind as Matthews trying to pull it away. Now Evans into the far corner. At knockdown, Rico fires it all the way in along the near boards of the neutral zone. Katie German retreats into her own end. Feeds it down the near board. Simmer trying to get to it. Pulled back by Murphy. Murphy in along the far boards to Rico. Rico gets it into the neutral zone along the near boards. And picked up fired the other direction by McCarthy. Picked up at her own blue line. Bars feeding it ahead. Intercepted by Swanson. Swanson outside the far circle. Swanson coming in along the end boards from the far side to the near side, back behind the Penn State goal. Over to Murphy at the near point. That poke back into the neutral zone. Here comes Samiti. Samiti racing ahead. Samiti feeds it onto the far circle. Back to Samiti. Oh, the puck wouldn't settle down as it was a good give and go, but the puck wouldn't settle down for the shot. That block coming ahead with it. Good job by Matthews to block that shot now. Fired by Murphy. Tipped around. Bars trying to get to it and pulled back deep into the Penn State zone. 6:50 left to go here in the third. 6-1. Michigan with the lead. Here comes Samiti again down the near boards. Fires it deep into the Michigan zone before going for a line change. Izzy German in along the near boards of her own zone. Izzy German gets it ahead to Lindahl. Lindahl has that poke trying to get it away from Bove. Bove sends it back right in front of the scorer's bench. And picked up by Malashevsky at center ice. Comes down the far boards. Malashevsky gains the zone. Into the far corner. He's trying to knock that away is Pisano. Back to Kolwich at the near point. Kolwich, high slot. Fades over onto the far side. Kolwich now feeds it top of the far circle, racing in. Izzy German gets it top of the near circle to Swanson. Swanson with the wrister and a glove. Saved by Ware. 6:08 left to go here in the third. 6-1, Michigan with the lead. Good. Next game for Michigan will be here at Yost Ice Arena. 3:30 next Sunday. We're going to need all you Maize and Blue supporters out as they will be playing a very, very tough East Pod leading Adrian Bulldog team. So we could use as much of a home ice advantage as we can get. And puck into the near corner as Proctor trying to pull that away from Chiango. Proctor back behind the goal, now underneath the far circle. Proctor feeds it to Kolwich, top of the near circle. Kolwich outside the near circle now. Kolwich trying to come in. That tip back all the way top. High slot. Moved over outside the near circle for Rubin. There's a shot that goes all the way back to Kolwich at the far point. Kolwich trying to get it over to Izzy German. That slips back into the neutral zone. Racing ahead to get it is Blake. Now bouncing it along the far boards. Fed back as Pisano over along the near boards for Pinto. Pinto chasing it. That intercepted. Rocketed the other direction by Izzy German. Now here comes Proctor from the near circle. And a save covered up by Ware. 5:21 left to go here in the third. Michigan looking to complete the sweep. Penn State trying to get a little momentum back, trying to get that next goal. Ceballos in the near face-off circle versus Pinto. That comes back to the near point to Katie German. Her shot, and Ceballos sends it back in along the end boards. Christensen into the far corner. That puck loose in the low slot. That poke back into the near corner. Samiti with it. Samiti trying to get it back. Katie German holds it into the near point. And in along the near boards, Murphy brings it ahead. Murphy fires it into the neutral zone. Here comes Bars into the Michigan zone. Bars makes a move onto the far circle. Shot saved by Ponif. Samiti puts it in along the end board. Samiti has that poked away by Bryce. Now Ceballos underneath the near circle, trying to fire it ahead. That all the way back into the far corner for Bryce. Bryce trying to get it out of the zone. Stumple holds it in as now that blasted down into the neutral zone. Penn State has to reset. Murphy puts it in along the far boards. Grove feeds it all the way back deep into Michigan end. 4:23 left to go here in the third. In along the near boards. And Battle Christensen trying to chip it over to Goldman. Goldman coming down the far boards through the neutral zone over to Christensen. That's just out of her reach. Murphy has it back behind her own goal. Murphy coming up the far boards. Murphy over her own blue line. Murphy over center ice. Murphy gains the zone. That poked away by forehand into the near corner. Forehand pulls it back behind her own goal. Puts it outside the far circle for Evans. Held in by Bove, who puts it into the far corner. And lifted all the way back, spinning on edge all the way back into the Penn State zone. Is pulled back the other direction and fired all the way down the ice by Grove. Forehand picking it up in the far corner. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left to go here in the third. And Fed held in. Rico with a shot that stopped and a save by Ponif. Next game for Penn State is going to be right back in the state of Michigan, as they will have a pair of games at Munn Ice Arena on Saturday the 28th and Saturday the 29th. Face-off is going to be in the Michigan zone. That to the right of Ponif in the near face-off circle. One into the far corner. Swanson grabbing it there, bringing it ahead. 3:20 left to go here in the third. Lindahl brings it in. Lindahl in the slot. Shot at glove. Save by Ware. 3 minutes, 11 seconds left to go from Yost Ice Arena. Face-off will be in the far face-off circle. Malashevsky in to take the face-off. Pinto on the other side for the Nittany Lions, bringing it ahead. And chipped all the way back into the Michigan zone, racing over to Giz. Barr feeds it into the near corner for Samiti. Samiti trying to come right back behind the Michigan goal. Barr has it there, swept outside the far circle for Pinto. Pinto back to the far point as Pizzoni fires it underneath. Now trying to get it out in front. That pull back. Swanson coming down the far boards. And back, tipped Samiti at it. Now coming ahead with it. Here comes Michigan. Bringing it in. Malashevsky with a shot. And into the near corner. And brought all the way back into the neutral zone. Racing to try and bring it in. Rubin trying to get to it. That's stolen away by Samiti. Banked off of the near board. Picked up. Coming the other direction is Rico. Fired ahead. Tipped off of Proctor's skates. Now coming the other direction is Stumpo. Loose in the neutral zone. Brought in by Penn State. Bove had it knocked away. Now Barron fires it back deep. 2:09 left to go here in the third. Michigan coming up the near boards as they get it over their own blue line. Fed ahead by Katie German over to Proctor. Top of the far circle. Proctor with a shot. And saved by Ware. Proctor still with it. Proctor outside the far circle. Now Proctor comes, moves it over to Katie German at the near point. Katie German feeds down the far circle, trying to fire it in was Goldman. Now backhanded shot by Proctor and a save by Ware. 1 minute 44 seconds left to go. Again, we're so grateful for all of you for watching and cheering for either of these two teams. Thank you for supporting this amazing sport and these wonderful athletes. Ceballos in to take the face-off versus McDonald. There's a shot from the far point that got deflected. Outside the near circle, Christensen with it, trying to get it back to McCarthy. And pulled down by Blake. Blake moves it over, and now Chiango fires it all the way back. And into the Michigan zone. McCarthy chases it back. 1 minute 25 seconds left to go. McCarthy underneath the near circle, feeds it down the far boards. Down Goldman, puts it in along the far boards, bringing it ahead. Racing is Levinson. Levinson puts it back deep. That deflected into the far corner. Now fed by Grobe. Levinson holds it in at the far point. That shot goes wide into the near corner. 1 minute 3 seconds left to go. As that knocked down, McCarthy trying to get it out in front. That pulled away by McDonald. Is right back behind the Penn State goal. 50 seconds left to go. Christensen trying to get it out in front. That puck. Backhanded shot and covered up by Ware. I want to thank my camera person, Christina Wiseman, wearing her very cool new Michigan women's hockey jacket. Nice big Christmas present for her if you want to check out when you come to a game. I believe that they still have some swag you can get supporting the Michigan women's hockey team. Into the near corner, Simmer with it. Simmer trying to poke that away is Blake. 36 seconds left to go. Back to the far point to Izzy German. Izzy German coming in. Izzy German feeds out to far circle. Samiti pulls that away. Well, Penn State has never quit and continued to battle this entire weekend. Poked away as Barr's trying to get it in. Now bringing it ahead. Here comes Simmer. Simmer gets into the zone. That pop right back. Evans has it right in front of the Penn State bench. 12 seconds left to go. Now that top of the far circle coming in. Evans with another shot. Saved by Ware. 5.6 seconds left to go. My name is Mark Wiseman. It has been my extreme pleasure to provide play-by-play for today's game. And Matthews over in the far circle versus Mudrick. That comes all the way back. And that will do it. Michigan with the win, 6-1. 2 goals in the first, 2 goals in the second, 2 goals in the third. Again, please come and join us 3:30 next Sunday. Michigan versus Adrian College. We need every single one of you out here and cheering loud and proud as Michigan will try and take down the Bulldogs. As the best tradition in all of sports, the post-game handshake. Now have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We will be back as we will actually film the Michigan coaches show tomorrow. We should have that up about 8 or 9 o'clock for you to watch, so check that out. Coach Jenna Tribbiano and I will discuss the trip to Arizona and this weekend. Thank you and good night and go blue.